Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, if you haven't been here before, then thanks for coming. I am very new to YouTube. This is just going to be my second attempt at a video. I posted my first video, what's in my stripper bag, the day before yesterday, and I got a few requests from people asking to do an intro, kind of explaining who I am, a little bit about myself, how I got into stripping, how I got into pole, and yeah, a bit about me. So if you're interested in knowing a bit more about that, then keep watching. Well, first off, I feel like I should start off by saying that I come from a family that is very open and very accepting of all the choices I make. Both of my parents are artists. My dad is a painter, my mom does painting, sculpting, performance art. They both do some music. They have always been really accepting and open to any of the ideas I have and what I want to do. I went to an art school for some of elementary and all of my high school, and I also went into professional theater for college. And so it's always been art related, and that's always been totally fine with my family, and they've always been super accepting. And also, my mom was a stripper in the 80s, so that was always something that I knew as a kid. Well, not when I was a little kid, but at a certain point she told me and my sister, and I did know, and it was never looked on as a bad thing. So then anyway, after theater school, I was at this point 20 years old. This was 2014. And I was working as a waitress and working a little bit as an actress, little jobs here and there. And I started pole dancing, so I took a lesson. So that's almost 7 years ago now. And I took a pole lesson at a studio called Alternative Fitness in Montreal. And right away I was like obsessed. I was one of those people who was at the studio like 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week. I mean, after the first few months, I then started doing that for a few months, and then within a year I was a teacher. So that was really lucky for me that I had access to the studio and I could train all the time. So that owner, her name was Alex Starr, and I think I owe everything to her because she really believed in me and she let me train at the studio all the time. She was the one who encouraged me to start competing, actually. I started competing in 2015. I did my first amateur pole competition in 2015, and I actually won first place. And that was kind of what made me realize, like, oh shit, like I can do this. And I then, a fire was lit under my ass, and I continued competing in 2016. And then I decided to go traveling to Australia, and that was in 2017. I went with my ex-boyfriend, and that's when I started stripping. So I was in Australia and been traveling around for about 6 months, taking a few pole classes here and there, and I had started doing exotic. I had danced a little bit in heels living in Montreal, but it was only really once I got to Australia that I took some exotic classes with Yoongi Dang and Michelle Shimmy, Maddie Sparkle, and I was so in love with dancing in heels, and I had a newfound love for pole in a way. So it was about 6 months into my year in Australia that I realized I kind of wanted to become a stripper. Well, I had always known that at some point I wanted to try stripping. It was always something that was in the back of my head as an option. Or maybe I wished it was an option. I was not always super confident, but always trying to be as confident as I could. And yeah, it was always something I thought about. So when I was running out of money in Australia and living at a hostel, and there was a strip club right across the street from the hostel, and one of my friends that I had just made was stripping and living in the hostel, working right across the street, making tons of money, and made it seem like such a fun job, especially while you're traveling. You don't know anyone, so there's not a risk of seeing people you know at the club if that's something you worry about. Yeah, it just seemed like the perfect opportunity. So I tried to talk to my boyfriend at the time, my ex now. I tried to talk to him about it, and he really didn't want me to to start stripping. And it kind of came down to that in the end. I was like, well, I want to do that. So I broke up with him in Australia, and then I was all alone. And I had made that choice, and I think that was a really deciding moment for me in my life. I decided, fuck this guy, this is what I want to do. It wasn't a last resort for me, it was something I really wanted to do, and I decided to do that, and that was awesome. I met some really cool people and was introduced to the scene there, but because I had already been pole dancing for a few years, I definitely kind of got to skip over that period of being a baby stripper. I mean, not entirely. I had people showing me the ropes and stuff like that, so I felt welcomed. But I feel like the fact that when I went on stage, I knew a few tricks definitely helped and with my confidence, and then being confident is what made people respect me and were more open to getting to know me, I think, rather than thinking, oh, she's just someone who walked in first night, you know. It's always a little bit hard, but I definitely feel like I was lucky. Everyone was really nice to me right off the bat. Yeah, that was at Showgirls in Sydney, in King's Cross, Sydney. Stayed at that hostel and stripped at that strip club across the street for 4, 5, 6 months or something like that. Yeah, so I stripped there for a while and then moved back to Montreal in 2018, and a little while after moving back here, I started going back to teaching pole, training pole, and then started working at a club here in Montreal. And I had been working at that club for a little while before COVID happened. And now I am not working anywhere. I am just teaching virtual classes from my home. Hopefully soon I'll be able to teach in-person classes again, and hopefully soon the club will open again. But for now, I'm just at home, pole training and teaching. That is obviously my passion. And I like stripping because I like getting naked and dancing around, and I like the attention, and I like feeling sexy. And then I like to get on stage and dance. That's like obviously the best part of the job, the performing. So I miss that. That's mostly, I feel like that's long already, but that's me. So yeah, I've been doing pole about 7 years and stripping on and off for the past 3 years, but mostly off, to be honest. Yeah, if you guys have any more questions you want me to answer in another video, I'm gonna do a Q&A video. So feel free to send me any questions you have over Messenger or in the comments if you want. And yeah, I'll try to answer all those questions in another video at some point. I'm going to be making lots more videos, stripping related, pole related, anything like that, anything that I know about, I'm going to make a video about it. So feel free to give me some video ideas too, and if you have tips for editing, yeah, hopefully it's just going to get better from here. So thank you guys for watching another video, and take care.